It's Lee from ColouringQueen.net, and I want to show you my latest colouring book. It's not a new colouring book. What it is a Dutch imprint. So it's a Dutch edition of one of my favourite colouring books by KANOKO, EGUSA, probably not pronouncing that anywhere close to what it's meant to be, but the Japanese edition is called Rhapsody in the Forest. Now, usually you have to get the Japanese edition, which is this one over here, which my hand is on, from either Japan or specialist sellers. However, the Dutch imprint is more widely available. You'll find it on Amazon stores and the links below the video. And because it's more widely available, the cost of shipping it to you and purchasing it is a lot cheaper than the original Japanese edition. Now, just looking at the covers, you can see that the Japanese one is slightly browner, and this one is more like the cover of her second book, Menuet of Happiness, which is slightly more pinkier in colour. The gold frame around here is a lot golder, and over here it's more of a vintage silver type colour. Other than that, the cover art is the same. On the back we have got the illustrations as per the original edition, but this time it's in Dutch, that's in Japanese. Now, lining them up side by side and having a look at them, how they measure, they're actually the same size, but what you will notice is the paper in the Dutch edition is white, whereas the paper in Rhapsody in the Forest, the Japanese edition, is an off-white or an ivory. Other than that, they're pretty well the same. There's one exception in the book, which I'll show you in a minute. But you can see spine-wise and size-wise, they're pretty well the same. Obviously it has a different title for the Dutch edition. Now, in the original Japanese edition, at the end of the book we've got this lovely floral print here, which is the reverse for some gorgeous little note cards and little gift tags or message cards that you can colour in and cut out. And they're actually paraded around there, so a lot of expense has gone into creating that. Now, the Dutch edition does not have those little treats at the back, but quite frankly I've got so many books with little treats in them that I haven't coloured that it's not going to make any difference to me. Looking at the illustrations, they're all the same within the book. They go in the same order. So starting at the beginning, just wanting to show you what the paper is like side by side. So at the bottom is the Japanese edition, and at the top is the Dutch imprint. You can see the illustrations are the same, format is the same, where it's covering up to the side here. It's just the colour that is different. Now, the paper quality on the Japanese edition is a medium quality, and on the Dutch edition it's also a medium quality as well. Now, one thing that is slightly different is the positioning of the images. So in the Dutch edition here we have more of the chandelier strings showing than on the Japanese edition. So if we sort of measure from candle to candle, you'll see that we've got a little bit more, and that's because at the bottom, if you have a look here, lining it up, we've got less down the bottom, so a couple of mils, and a couple of mils extra at the top. So a few millimeters difference in the positioning. Now, the binding in the Japanese edition is fabulous. It just folds over and it's super easy. In the Dutch edition, this is a brand new book. It's only been opened once today, but it's already folding over quite easily. So I'm pretty confident it'll live up to the expectations I have of it. So let's have a look inside. And just like the original, we've got the dust jacket with that card cover and the sort of browny crimson-y printing on there. Lovely sturdy card cover. It's quite thick. We start off with the same title page. The only difference is that this is in Dutch. You can see how well it's folding over. And as I said, I only got the book this afternoon. I've had a look through it to see what the differences are and make sure there's no printing errors in it. So it's folded over really quite well considering it's only had one outing. Now some of the illustrations, especially like this, that have got a lot of imagery within the gutter there, it may not fold over enough to really enjoy it, but just, you know, pushing down, I'm starting to flatten it. So I think with a little bit more pushing, I think I should be able to flatten it down enough to get right in there. And this is such a great book because it's got so many different sorts of illustrations in it. From these magical scenes, these beautiful little animals, and of course bunny rabbits, as well as the most gorgeous kitty cat that I'm sure, here he is, I'm sure you've seen this Halloween kitty cat many a time, and this gorgeous Halloween mandala. It's just these lovely little animals living in the woods and also in other situations as well, so these little circus scenes. It's such a gorgeous book. Look at that bunny. Look at that kitty. And lots of gems to colour if you're into gems. And a lovely Christmas style picture there. Aren't they adorable? Beautiful glass bottles to colour. Lovely little bunny rabbits. A gorgeous unicorn. I'd love to know what this story says. And there we have it. We come to the end. I'll just test out some pencils on the paper so we can see how it works. So this is a Lyra pencil. It's going on very smoothly. So no problems with the Lyra. This is a budget brand, sometimes called Hero pencils. Lots of different names for it. Again, going on very smoothly on the paper. So no problems with that. Holbein pencil. It's going on quite smoothly, but it does feel a little bit chalkier compared to the others. Prismacolor. And I think the problem is the dust jacket is coming through. So I'll just pop a piece of paper underneath that so that dust jacket texture is not coming through. And it's still coming through, so fold it down a bit. And it's going on lovely. And finally a polychromo. And this one feels the best so far out of all of them. But they all go on well, but this one just seems to really just, it wants to dive onto the paper. So of course the paper's not watercolour or wet media paper. So as always, test it out if you want to use wet mediums on it. I've got a Tombow brush marker. And it's going on like a dream. And bear in mind I'm standing up doing this, so a little bit away from the book. And that hasn't come through at all. Now, of course, alcohol markers will bleed through, and I like the book too much to put alcohol markers on it. Until next time, happy colouring.